This is me and Mark Spencer back again, and we're going to talk about UFC 88 and who we think might take it and who might win it. Same shit, anyway. Anyway, Mark, I'm going to ask you, Chuck Liddell or Rashad Evans, who do you think is going to win that match, and why?
Well, folks, I mean, anything's possible. We're talking MMA. We're talking, it's atmospheric, and we're talking MMA. We're talking Chuck Liddell. I mean, Chuck Liddell is the type of athlete that, the Iceman. He's one of the fans' favorite. I mean, every time he comes to the ring, they're just yelling, Iceman, Iceman, you know what? And he's amazing. His knockout power is unbelievable. And he'll be taking on former Ultimate Fighter star Rashad Evans. Rashad Evans beat Tito Ortiz, not once, but twice. So, folks, it was once. Okay, I'm sorry about that, folks.
It was how you call it, a draw.
A draw?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Sorry about that, friends. My friend here has the facts wrong. Rashad Evans against Tito Ortiz. They fought once, and that was a draw. I saw the fight. It was very close, back and forth, but it became to be a draw just because Tito Ortiz hit him in the back of the head, and he wasn't supposed to. He lost some points. But if Tito Ortiz didn't do that, he would have won by a slight margin. But it was a back and forth match. No one dominated the other one, really. My views, Chuck Liddell against Rashad Evans. Well, my friend says here he's the Iceman. He's the Iceman, but the Iceman's been put on ice. We've seen him put on ice. But guess who? Who put him on ice not too long ago?
Was it Keith Jardine?
No. Who really put him on ice? One punch ice. Quinton Rampage Jackson.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Man, I watched that pay-per-view and I was happy. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Chuck Liddell. I like he hits hard. He runs around. He tries to punch the guy. He never really engages, just tries to knock out the guy with one big punch. Oh, well, that's his style. It's worked for him for many, many fights. But now I think these guys who are fighting up against him know his game plan and know a way around it, because he hasn't been really knocking out people just by one punch anymore. So I think Chuck Liddell has to step it up a bit and use some more techniques, that he can't just really knock out people with his one punch. I'm sure he's heavy-handed. He knocks them all out, but you can only do the same game plan so many times until somebody figures you out. And I think the Iceman has been put on ice, and now he has to make some new ice. That's my opinion. And I think the Chuck Liddell and Rashad Evans fight, I think those two, it's going to be a great match, because obviously Rashad Evans is quick, he's fast, and he's always improving it fight after fight. When I see Chuck Liddell, he's always doing the same thing. I don't see nothing different from him. So personally myself, I think if Chuck Liddell manages to hit Rashad Evans with a few hard shots, I think he can take Rashad Evans out. I think if Rashad Evans manages to dodge and move and get in, throw him, and hit some shots, I think he'll take Chuck Liddell out. So it's a hard matchup. I can't really say who's going to win. But, that's my point of view. And then the other one is Rich Franklin. Rich Franklin against Matt the Hammer Hamill. Now, is that a good matchup? Well, you got a veteran, a former UFC middleweight champion, and you got a former Ultimate Fighter star. Now, out of those two guys, who's going to win? Well, I've seen Mark Hamill. He's constantly improving.
Matt Hamill.
Oh, it's Matt Hamill. Sorry, I got Mark beside me, so I said Mark Hamill. But anyway, that could go either way. But I put my money on the line with Rich Franklin, because he has more experience. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to get out of trouble. The only thing, Rich Franklin's had trouble beating Anderson Silva, but I've seen Rich Franklin fight, and he can get out of anything. He's like one of the best fighters out there. And Matt Hamill, I think he needs some more experience, but he's tough, he's strong, he's durable, and he's definitely a contender for this fight. So, but I'll go put my money on Rich Franklin. And then when it comes to the main event, it's kind of a toss-up, but I'll probably go with Chuck Liddell, because he's, well known to give those hard, lightning fast punches, even though I think Rashad Evans can probably dodge them and catch Chuck Liddell off guard. That's my thoughts on UFC 88. How about you, Mark?
Well, I tell you right now, Greg, I mean, this UFC is going to be something outstanding. I feel that the fans, they got to enjoy the entertainment. I mean, MMA talk is something special, and UFC 80 and UFC Breakthrough, the next pay-per-view. And just one thing I gotta ask you, Greg, I think that's pretty amazing, is the UFC for the first time ever are fighting in Atlanta, Georgia. What do you have to say about that? The former home of WCW.
Woo! That's all I gotta say. Like what Ric Flair would say. Woo! I can't do it as good as him. He's been doing it for all his life anyway. But anyway, what I have to see, they're gonna fight in Atlanta. So what? It could be Canada. It could be Beijing. It could be Australia. Who cares? The main thing, they're gonna fight, and they're gonna know who is the winner. My prediction: Chuck Liddell, main event. Second main event, my prediction is Rich Ace Franklin. So really, what do I think about they're going to fight in Atlanta?
How about Jason McDonald? I think he's replacing Jason Doomsday. He pulled out of the fight against Jason Lambert.
Oh, I'm not too sure what's Jason McDonald and Jason Doomsday. Too many Jasons, if you ask me. But anyway, I'm talking MMA. I'm going to be watching it September the 6th, live on pay-per-view, 7 p.m., and I'll be 7 p.m. at the bar watching it and having some pints of beer. Now, you could join me, but really you won't be. So, watch UFC 88, because I'm a big fan. I watch all the UFCs, and if you do see this on YouTube and you're a UFC fan, don't miss any of it. It's the best show in the goddamn world. And I'm telling you that. Don't miss UFC. Number one, all the time, never disappoints. Although I was kind of disappointed when I saw that fight with Forrest Griffin and Quinton Rampage Jackson. Yeah, I'm going to tell you my views. I saw Rampage. He was limping before he fought. What's up with that, man? Why did you fight if you weren't 100%? I mean, give me a break. Give me a break. Not to say Forrest Griffin is a slouch, but, man, I know Quinton Rampage Jackson could have taken him out if he had his two legs working properly. And seriously, what kind of decision was that? I saw that match. I'd give more rounds to Quinton. Really, I would, because he knocked down Forrest a couple of times. Forrest defended great. He fought with a lot of heart. Not to say he's not a tough fighter, but seriously, what man goes to fight crippled? Sure, there's money involved. Sure. But is the money worth losing your title? I'm asking you, Quinton. Is it worth losing your title? I don't think so. I wouldn't have fought. I would have fought some other day. Anyway, this is my thoughts on UFC 88. I hope you enjoyed me talking, because I enjoy talking to all you fans, and hope to see you soon. And I have to say, it's past my bedtime, and I gotta go to sleep early in the morning, and so does Mark. We both have babies to take care of. Back to you, Mark.
Oh, Greg, man, you're the man. My final thoughts on UFC 88 Breakthrough. I think it's going to be a great show. I think the fans all over the arena are going to enjoy it. They'll be pumped. They'll be ready to go. I can't say anything more. As an MMA fan, I'm going to enjoy this. This is a moment to savor. I can't wait till September 6th, watching it at the pub. I mean, I watched the last UFC, Georges St. Pierre. He put on a hell of a show, but I think John Fitch really put the pressure on him, Greg. And let me tell you, Georges St. Pierre, he said he's done for the rest of this year. So the big fight against BJ Penn, it looks like it's going to happen, but it's going to happen next year, January 2009. So for Greg Campos, this is Mark Spencer saying so long, everyone, and we'll see you next time on the MMA Talk 3. Bye-bye.